There's a brand new exhibit coming to the Museum of Arts and Sciences here in Macon. It's the Quilts, Textiles, and Fibers exhibit, and it features dozens of traditional geometric quilts that show the difference between traditional quilt making and modern quilt making. Joining me with more details is Judy Bales, who is working in the exhibit. She's an artist. So Judy, tell me a little bit about the museum and what's going on with your side, your part of the exhibit.
Well, I just came in yesterday from Iowa, but I do have a background here at Georgia. I've lived in Georgia for many years. And I'm a fiber artist, but I work in non-traditional materials. And by fibers, that means any material or process that relates to fabric construction or weaving, but I don't work in yarns or actual fabric. I work in plastics and metal, but I use that as if it were a fiber. So that leaves that whole area wide open to sculpture, to two-dimensional work. Fiber art is a very wide open contemporary field that has a lot of applications and a lot of different artists doing just a variety of work in that field. So I'm doing a site-specific installation, meaning I'm creating an entire installation this week in one gallery, taking up the whole gallery, and I'm repurposing materials from YKK here in Macon, and they have very generously allowed me to have access to materials that are left over that they normally would recycle.
Okay.
And I'm taking those and I'm creating the installation.
Well, fantastic. And tell me a little bit about traditional quilt making in general. I know it's got a big, rich history behind it, but now in today's world, in the modern world, tell me a little bit what inspires you from the traditional side of things to make a more modern quilt?
Well, and my work is not actually quilt making, although I have done quilt making, and I did some weaving when I was in graduate school at University of Georgia, but it wasn't really, that kind of structure wasn't really it didn't appeal to me as much as improvisation or something that relates more to contemporary sculpture, or even you could say to contemporary painting, in that it's freer in a way and not as, when I set out, I have a concept in mind, but I don't lay out a pattern as you would in a quilt.
I see.
So
okay.
I have an idea and then I work with the materials and I experiment, and then the outcome is precise in some ways in that I have a concept, but the way I get to that concept changes as I move along, and the way I interact with the materials determines, and the way I explore the materials determines the outcome. So it is improvisational, and it has an open-ended aspect, and that's the quality that will really be interesting for the public, I think, in this exhibit.
The public,
because they can come in and watch me while I'm installing this during the week, and they can even participate. I can give them materials and show them what to do, and taking very simple techniques, one can make a very complex structure or a very complex installation, and that's what I'll be doing with these materials, is using simple knotting or wrapping techniques that anyone can do, that anyone could do with a fiber, but we're going to create something that has depth and complexity to it.
Well, that's fantastic. So that's something that the public can be a part of, and also use materials that would normally be thrown away, I guess.
That's right, and they will be able to see that transformation. And when YKK uses these materials, they're producing something that's, I would say, mathematical and rigid, because they have machines or tools or whatever set up to produce a product, and their clients have to know exactly what they're getting, if they're getting a zipper or Velcro or whatever, and it's made for a specific purpose.
Yeah.
I'm taking these same materials, these same raw materials that are used to make those objects, and I'm using them in a very open-ended way, and I think for the public to see that will be really, I just think it will be very, very interesting for the public. And I'll be giving a talk at lunch on Thursday, and people can come and see the progress of the installation, and again can come and participate, or they can just come and hear me at noon talk about about this installation and how it has progressed.
That's great. Well, fantastic. Be sure to see Judy on Thursday. The exhibit starts tomorrow and runs all the way into May, so be sure to check it out. The Museum of Arts and Sciences is located on Forsyth Road in Macon, so head on down there to see Judy on Thursday and learn more about the textiles there.